So I knew quite a few guys. My dad's friends, pretty much all of them worked in the oil business, you know. They worked with him. And sometimes we'd go visit them, and my dad and my mom and the other people, they played poker, and they had kids, and so we'd just play around. They had kids. My dad played a lot of cards. He was a big card player. He taught me a lot of card playing. Sometimes all summer, when we were kids, we'd play cards. Kids I played with, we'd play a lot of cards in the summer. As we grew a little older, there was a gas station, a mobile station, down on San Bernardino Road, about 6 blocks or 7 blocks from us, I would guess. It was run by a guy who was really a nice guy. Bud was all I knew him by. I don't know what his real, they called him Bud. And when I was about 18 or 19, he gave me a job down there. I'd work nights. I was in school. I was still in high school part of the time. Part of the time I wasn't. And I'd work night till 9 o'clock or so. Close it up. Every night wash it up. Wash the place out. Close it up. And he had a guy working for him named Con Coyer. And Con Coyer and I became pretty good friends. And as a result of that friendship, Con Coyer went to another guy, he was a manager of 2 of the guy's gas stations. This guy had also some transportation trucks. He'd haul his own oil. He had a separate name. He was a private guy. He had called the gas station Suppose You Serve. And they were the second, as far as I know, the second self-service gas station in the United States. Another guy in LA started self-service gasoline stations. And I believe these were the second ones.
Wow. There
weren't any others around. And we sold gas at $0.05 a gallon less than anybody else. Right. But you had to serve it yourself. Except we would do more service than they do today. We'd usually pump, if we weren't busy, we'd pump the women's gas. We wouldn't pump the guys. Then we'd usually wash windshields even if he'd pumped the gas. And that's another story we'll get to later on. Con Coyer was I always had a job. I was working there when I went to work for Pan American.
Wow, yeah.
So I worked there a lot. But anyhow, behind this guy's gas station was a big vacant lot. Big lot. Not like a little lot you'd see here, but a big area. No houses on it. The houses were all on the other side of the street. And the kids used to hang, as a boy, we'd hang out down there. We'd play football in the dirt, and we built a basketball post and basketball backboard and a net, put that up and made a basketball court and played basketball. And we were down there a lot playing, and the guy who owned the gas station, he went to the city, he went to Mobil Oil and said if Mobil Oil will give those guys the lot, will the city make it a official playground and put a building up and put some equipment in it so these people can play. And they got the deal through, so the city took it over, and it became, the name was Poplar Playground. It was I think it was on Pepper Street, but the name of the place, there were poplar trees nearby, and they called it Poplar Playground. And that became Poplar. And then, as we were growing up, we used to play down there every night after we did our studies or homework or whatever we had to do. We'd go, they had put up lights, so you could, nothing paved, it was still dirt. And if they had a volleyball court, and then they had a clubhouse where they had caroms in there, you could go in there and shoot caroms.
What's that?
Caroms is like, they almost look like checkers, and you have 4 holes like a billiard table, it's only about maybe 3 feet wide and 4 foot long, and you have a little stick like a cue stick, and you shoot caroms, trying to knock the caroms. You'd play caroms down there. And then he would organize teams, and then we would play other playgrounds. We had a football team that would play other playgrounds, baseball teams, and basketball teams. little leagues, like Little League is today, but it was playground leagues. You'd go from playground to playground. As I recall, no parents were ever involved. It was always just guys. How we got from place to place, on the streetcar, I guess, because some of them were too far to walk. Somebody may have driven us, not a lot of times. But it wasn't one where parents would come down when you practiced or come down and watch the games. Nobody would watch the games, hardly anybody. We had some pretty good teams. We played more touch or tag football than we did. Nobody had uniforms.
Right.
And so you'd play in whatever clothes you had. I was a terrible baseball player. And we played hardball too. Not in a league. We played I don't know if it was makeup teams, other teams. We played down in, what did they call that place? It was like a big hole, but it was cemented on the sides, but it was way down low. It was in Arroyo Seco area there. Maybe it was called Arroyo Seco. It was right near but there was a brickyard, a place that made bricks was up on the main level, and there was a bread company. What's the name of that bread? Wonder Bread, I think it was. Had a bread company right nearby. And the other place they made bricks, had big ovens there. They'd make bricks and make bricks. We played hardball down there. Softball we would play at the playground. As I grew older, they played that fast pitch softball where they.
Oh yeah.
We had a guy lived on our street named Bill Watson. Man, he could pitch that baseball. He was really a pitcher. He and I never got along, but very well. But he could really play baseball. I was a terrible baseball. I had no arm. I couldn't throw from outfield to home base. So I always played second base, which is probably, that's as far as I could throw the ball was second. And I was a terrible hitter. I was slow. I was not much of a baseball. I was a pretty good football player, a good basketball player, but football was not my sport. In high school I didn't play football, I played basketball. I was a good basketball player. I played football and basketball in City College. Lettered in both sports. The lightest guy on the football team, and played center and backed up the right side of the line.
That's good.
I was a pretty tough guy. I could take a beating, I wasn't a cry. I was tough in that respect. And I was determined as heck, too.
Well, Dad, I'm going to go to
Making you
sleep.
sleep. Me too. I'm ready. I'm ready to go to